This is news on 18 WJTS. In tonight's news, an oversized truck load rips down power lines on 164 near Celestine. A new event is coming to Huntingburg's Market Street Park. In sports, Kurt Guxell has highlights of the Southridge Summer Basketball Tournament. And on WJTS Informed tonight, we visit the Spencer County 4-H Fair and talk with 4-H ambassadors. All this and more coming up next on the 18 WJTS News. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Bill Potter with the WJTS News. A semi-truck hit a light pole, briefly knocking out power to nearby residents in Celestine. The crash briefly closed Indiana 164 East, approximately 2 miles east of the bowling alley towards Celestine. Ralph Mailing and his wife Frida were sitting in their family room when the crash occurred.
I don't know. We were sitting in the family room there and all of a sudden heard something loud bang and there.
We thought it was thunder.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden when I looked out and there was this big tractor trailer sitting there with this big cargo on the back of it, and post was broken, laying on it. That's about it.
The truck was hauling an oversized load and taking detours from its planned route. Its initial route was closed due to road damage from recent rains. Power has been restored to the Celestine area and the road is open. Funeral details were released for the Girl Scout killed in a freak accident at Camp Cook on Monday. 11-year-old Isabella Meyer was hiking with 2 adults and a 10-year-old from Boonville when a tree fell, pinning them. Meyer was pronounced dead at an Evansville hospital after suffering head and abdominal injuries. The Girl Scouts of Southwest Indiana say the 2 adults injured in the accident are in stable condition. The 10-year-old from Boonville who was injured was released from the hospital Tuesday. Funeral services and details for Isabel Meyer can be found on our website, WJTS.tv. 3 Huntingburg residents were placed under arrest this week on charges of neglect of a dependent and animal cruelty. 24-year-old Cherokee Eckert, 25-year-old Skylar Fox, and 49-year-old Heather Ice, all of Huntingburg, have been charged with 2 level 6 felony counts of neglect of a dependent and 2 misdemeanor counts of animal cruelty. Initially, the charges came from an investigation by the Huntingburg Police Department back in April when the DuBois County Department of Child Services requested investigation assistance in the allegation of neglect. Officials determined that juveniles were placed in dangerous conditions and dogs were neglected as well. The 3 were arrested on Monday after warrants were issued by the DuBois Circuit Court and they were booked into the DuBois County Security Center. They have since been released. A Jasper man is under arrest after a report of domestic battery. The Huntingburg Police Department responded to the 1400 block of North Chestnut Street in Huntingburg Thursday morning and talked with the female victim, that is, who had visible injuries. The victim told police that children were present at the time. Police took 49-year-old Christopher J. Newton into custody. Newton is booked into the DuBois County Security Center on the preliminary charge of domestic battery, a level 6 felony. Through a partnership with the IU Center for Rural Engagement and Destination Huntingburg, the City of Huntingburg is hosting a new summer concert series that will be held at Market Street Park. 4th Fridays will take place on Fridays starting this Friday, June 28th, and continuing July 26th and August 23rd from 5 to 11 p.m. The event is free and will include live music, food trucks, a cash bar provided by the Gaslight, and games and activities for kids. The first event, which will be held Friday, will feature 2 music groups from Indiana University, Side Hustle from 5 to 6 p.m. and Secret Mezzanine from 6:30 to 8 p.m. and will include a local favorite, Calabash, from 8:30 to 11 as the headliner. Attendees are encouraged to bring their own blankets and chairs for seating. For more information or to volunteer at the event, please contact Rachel Steckler, Director of Community Development, at 812-683-2211, 683-2211, or by email at rsteckler@huntingburg-in.gov. A lawsuit filed Tuesday on behalf of 9 Indiana foster children claims the Indiana Department of Child Services doesn't protect 22,000 children with open child welfare cases, including more than 14,000 in out-of-home care. The federal lawsuit filed in Evansville seeks class action status and was brought by a group called Indiana Disabilities Rights, the national advocacy group A Better Childhood, and the law firm Kirkland and Ellis. It claims the 9 named plaintiffs have suffered serious physical and psychological harm while in state care. Court documents show that 2 of the children are from Spencer County. The suit said while children are in DCS custody, Indiana fails to keep them safe, often placing them in inappropriate, unstable, or overly restrictive placements, fails to provide necessary support services and medical and mental health care, and fails to provide meaningful case management. It continued by saying many of these children unnecessarily languish in foster care for years before they are reunified with their primary caretakers or are adopted or age out of the system. The suit seeks to stop the ongoing violations of children's constitutional rights and rights under federal law, transform the state's child welfare system, and ensure DCS fulfills its legal responsibility for vulnerable foster children in Indiana's child welfare system. Legal Director of Indiana Disability Rights, Melissa Keys, said children come into DCS care having already experienced trauma. Keys believes that the failure of DCS to protect these children from further harm is unconscionable, especially when much of that harm is due to DCS's own failings. She continued by saying that children with disabilities are being kept in overly restrictive institutional settings, that they are not being provided with adequate community-based service has certainly contributed to the developmental trauma these kids are experiencing. Mary Beth Bonaventura resigned as director of the agency in 2017, writing to Governor Eric Holcomb that the state's system was operating in ways that all but ensure children will die. The plaintiffs include Ashley W. and Betty W., 4- and 3-year-old sisters who have cycled through more than 15 foster care homes over 2.5 years, including 2 episodes in emergency shelter care. DCS spokeswoman Noelle Russell declined to comment on the lawsuit. And this note from the Jasper Street Department: Mill Street between 3rd and 4th Street is currently closed due to an emergency waterline repair. This closure could be for several days. Now stay tuned. Weather and sports still to come on 18 WJTS News.